All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You spend weeks, maybe months, creating the perfect plan. And then you try to put it into action and it just falls apart. So frustrating, right? Well, today we're diving deep into that make or break moment, implementation. And I'm going to show you exactly how to steer your projects to a successful finish.
I mean, it's the classic question, isn't it? The one that probably keeps a lot of you up at night. You've got this brilliant strategy. Your team is fired up. You have the resources. And yet, somewhere along the way, things just go completely off the rails. So what's the deal? Why does this happen over and over again?
Well, here's the thing. The problem? It's usually not the plan itself. It's something else. The specific kind of danger that only pops up when your beautiful plan smacks into reality. We call it implementation risk. And honestly, just understanding this concept is the first and maybe the most important step to beating it.
So what is implementation risk really? Think of it like this. It's all the friction, all the chaos that happens when your neat and tidy plan on paper has to survive in the messy, unpredictable real world. You know what I'm talking about. The surprise budget cut, that key person who gets sick, the tech that just flat out fails. It's that huge, frustrating gap between how it should work and how it's actually working.
Okay, so if this risk is so important, whose job is it to handle it? Well, this quote right here is honestly a huge deal. It puts the responsibility squarely on one person's shoulders, the leader. Not the team, not the plan itself, the leader. The idea that you, as the leader, have to be the one to foresee this risk, that's a total game changer. It changes how you have to think about every single project.
So let's connect the dots here. If the problem is implementation risk, that means you, the leader, are the solution. And listen, this isn't about trying to create a flawless, bulletproof plan. That's impossible. It's about being the kind of proactive leader who can steer the ship even when the waters get choppy and completely unexpected. So let's break down what that actually looks like.
Here's the most important thing to remember. A plan is just a map. That's it. But a leader, you're the captain. The map is static, right? It can't react to a sudden storm or a weird change in the currents. But the captain can. Your hands-on active guidance is, without a doubt, the single biggest factor that determines if your project gets to where it needs to go.
This brings us to the first of two really critical leadership skills, and that's foresight. Now hold on, this isn't about having a crystal ball or trying to predict the future. Not at all. It's about a disciplined, strategic way of thinking that gets you and your team ready for whatever might be coming over the horizon. So what does foresight actually look like day to day? Well, it's about being willing to poke holes in your own plan, to stress test it. It's about constantly asking those tough what-if questions before they become reality. What if our main supplier is a week late? What if we lose Sarah from the dev team? When you find those weak spots early, you're not just avoiding disaster, you're actually turning uncertainty from a scary threat into a real strategic advantage.
But look, thinking ahead is only half the battle. Once that project is actually moving, you have to get in there and actively guide it. And this isn't some vague idea. This guidance breaks down into a really clear set of duties for any leader who's serious about winning.
And here it is, a simple but really powerful 3-step framework. Step 1, we've talked about, foresee the risk. That's your strategic piece. But steps 2 and 3 are all about what you do in the moment. Handle the team, that means clear communication, giving them the support they need. And supervise the process, that's about keeping an eye on things so you can make those smart, real-time adjustments. Now, let's be super clear here. This is not about micromanaging. It's the opposite. It's about active, supportive oversight that gives your team the confidence and the power to get through the tough spots.
And when you put it side by side like this, the difference is just, wow, it's so clear. You've got the reactive leader who's always running around putting out fires, just trying to manage the latest crisis. They're always a step behind. But the proactive leader, the one who's doing those 3 things we just talked about, they're always a step ahead. They're not just responding to problems, they're shaping the whole environment to keep those problems from happening in the first place. I mean, it's pretty obvious which column you want to be in, right? All right, let's boil this all down. What are the big takeaways? Number 1, implementation. That's where the rubber meets the road. It's where your plan gets its real test. Number 2, as a leader, your most important job, your primary role, is to be the chief risk manager. And number 3, how do you do that? It comes down to 2 things, seeing what could go wrong ahead of time, and then actively guiding your team through what actually does go wrong.
So I want to leave you with a question to take back to your team, like today.
Look at the projects you're working on right now and ask yourself this: what is the single biggest implementation risk we are facing? Seriously, just by naming that one thing, you've already started to shift from just managing a plan to truly leading a successful outcome. Now go make it happen.